Oh. Well, that's sad. Here we are. Welcome to my Thanksgiving... I gotta center myself. Welcome to my Thanksgiving celebration. As you can see, we're still waiting on the food, mainly because this is being recorded before Thanksgiving, obviously, so food's not really going to be ready for like a week. But it's the thought that counts. So I have to admit, I have a very special place in my heart for Thanksgiving. Not for any real reason in particular, just because I kind of feel like I have to, you know, I feel a little bad for it as a holiday. It's funny because Thanksgiving is like literally the third most popular holiday in the US, yet I feel like it's the one people get the least creative when it comes to celebrating. So let's celebrate this year in style. I got everything. I got a table, a living room, a plate, food. Okay, I might be missing a few things. Oh, how could I forget? Everyone's favorite part of Thanksgiving. That older, obscure relative you rarely see who really wants to share all of his political views, and they're very extreme. You know, unfortunately, I don't have, you know, a conservative uncle or a far-right grandfather or even the odd homophobic dad. But I do have the next best thing. Ben Shapiro! So yeah, apparently Ben Shapiro has this video called Ben Shapiro Saves Thanksgiving, which I wasn't really aware that it was in any real jeopardy, but I guess I better go down there and lend a hand in the trenches.
Alrighty, folks, so today is, of course, Thanksgiving.
Gobble gobble, socialism works.
Oh yeah, nice going, Shapiro. You just blew up the turkey. What the hell are we even doing here anymore? This is ridiculous. The woke hate Thanksgiving. Ben, I think you hate Thanksgiving.
While you eating your turkey, remember they murdered all the indigenous, taught us that it was innocent. Now we sitting every year and celebrating some innocence, teaching all of our children that it was a holy pilgrimage. Now we mad at the immigrants, even though we the immigrants. And when I say we, I really mean the ones that were stealing it. Now we eat in remembrance of the hateful people that was needing native assistance, and then they ended up killing them.
That is simplistic.
Okay, well, I do agree with you there, Ben. This is what I would call a lazy video. It just kind of is some music lyrics playing while somebody tries to maintain their center of balance during an earthquake, I guess.
There is this very bizarre Howard Zinn story that is told about Europeans arriving on the American continent, in which everything was peaceful Disney Pocahontas until the moment Europeans arrived on the continent.
I'm not really sure that's what they were saying in there, but whatever, man.
If you're going to talk about the vast majority of predations committed against Native Americans, you have to fast forward a couple of centuries. You have to fast forward to the time of Andrew Jackson and the Trail of Tears.
Oh, yeah, that's just not true, is it? Literally the first guy from Europe to come to the New World turned them into slaves. And that's not even mentioning the Spanish over there.
There's also this attempt very often in sort of Howard Zinn land to link the rise of disease in the New World as a form of deliberate genocide. That is absolutely incorrect. The bizarre notion that germ theory, people knew about it, is a strange one.
Ben, nobody is saying this. I don't know who you think is saying this stuff. Did you see that in the video? I didn't see that in the video. Granted, the video did also have this weird message about Thanksgiving, celebrating the pilgrims. Thanksgiving is about celebrating the pilgrims. Those were just the first idiots to have it.
Did you know that Native Americans taught white people how to bathe? They bathed with cold water, like in the picture above, and they took sauna steam baths in what are called temazcal.
Are you having a bit of trouble there, Ben? You look distressed about something. You look like you just realized you haven't taken a shower for like 3 weeks.
Actually, my family has one. And when the Spanish first arrived, the Aztecs burned incense everywhere they went. And the Spanish thought it was out of respect, but the Aztecs probably couldn't bear the stench of smelly medieval Europeans. And it's recorded that a Wampanoag member named Tisquantum tried to teach the European colonizers how to bathe themselves.
It is true the Aztecs were really, really clean. Also, they used to carve the hearts out of people en masse by the tens of thousands.
That is true, Ben. They did do that. But there is two very important things that I think you're forgetting that you need to keep in mind. The first being, they needed those hearts to build Bill Cipher's portal to the Nightmare Realm. Listen, you can practice your religion. I can practice mine. Look at that. It just sits right there. You don't even know it's there. But it's watching you. Oh yeah, and the second thing. It was just an example, you dim dunderhead. The Aztecs weren't the only Native American civilization.
As far as the Wampanoag being cleaner than the Europeans. That's true. And the Europeans were super dirty. But the idea that the Europeans learned cleanliness from the Aztecs and the Wampanoags is historically incorrect. The actual advent of bathing in Europe as a widespread practice really didn't begin until the 19th century. And that was because there were medical doctors who started thinking, hey, maybe it's a good idea for us to wash ourselves. It wasn't like they went and visited the Aztecs.
But I do have to agree with Ben to a certain extent here, because, yeah, the Native Americans didn't actually teach the English how to bathe. But they tried. They really tried. Yes, despite Tisquantum's best efforts, the Pilgrims refused to bathe, choosing instead to measure their cleanliness by the whites of their undergarments. Yeah, they actually left them visible so that others could see them and measure their cleanliness and purity based on that. Yeah, I found out about the 1639 letter that I guess some wealthy person or whatever had written about his maid, and I just kind of wanted to share it with you because I thought it was funny. He accused her maid of being sluttish for going to bed with her cloth and stockings, dirtying her bed lines. Isn't that something? I just really was amused by that. Imagine living in a society where you can be considered sluttish based on the clothes you wear to go to sleep. She was wearing what to sleep? By God, how scandalous! Go on. So, pardon my potential ignorance here, but to me it seems like the Native Americans, the ones that aren't the Aztec, because they weren't the only civilization that existed, Ben Shapiro, tried to teach them to bathe, in which the Europeans said, hey, shut up! Your fake, hokey science isn't real! I'm gonna stick to changing my undergarments every day, thank you very much.
It wasn't like they went and visited the Aztecs, and they're like, oh, you know what? These guys who are carving the hearts out of people, they really bathe well, though. They smell great. I don't know why you would connect those two things. Like, well, what is that? That's strange.
Yeah, it is, because they're not connecting those things, you ignoramus.
Growing up, I knew that what they told you in school about Thanksgiving wasn't true. The true story behind Thanksgiving was, after every killing of a whole village, these European settlers celebrated it, and they called it Thanksgiving. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln...
Jeez, Ben! Stop! We talked about this! Stop shooting the lasers out of your eyes! I seriously don't know who the hell edits these, but I think this is them crying for help. Okay, so this video is also a little weird because, again, Ben has some merit here. I don't really think this is true. The Europeans that murdered mass Native Americans didn't just, like, finish and then sit down and, you know, get a turkey and just be like, alright, happy Thanksgiving! I mean, the first Thanksgiving as a holiday was with the Pilgrims and to Squantum and all those fellas, but not a single Thanksgiving saw the light of day again, all the way up until Lincoln read about it somewhere and decided, hey, this might be a good way to distract people from the fact that our nation is tearing itself in twain, and we realize that half of it wants slavery and is evil. Maybe we could use another Thanksgiving. It was to help unify the nation, to remind us all how thankful we should be to be here. So you know what, Ben? I guess I'm just gonna have to give you this one. That being said, I'm not letting Mr. Shapiro get off scot-free here, because...
Again, lumping everything together is one of the things that you do when you want to draw one historical picture, and that picture is America is a vast history of predation and evil, and everybody else is an innocent that's been put upon by the United States.
I really would like to know why he keeps continuously defending these Pilgrim fellows and the Europeans that came to the New World. These people that called themselves separatists. Yeah, these guys were on the same side as Count Dooku and General Grievous. Like, I just kind of want to know what exactly it is you're trying to prove here, Shapiro.
We'll get to more on this in just one second.
Oh, good. I'm glad he answered that question.
First, there is no better gift than the gift of fine pearl jewelry you didn't spend a fortune on at the Pearl Source.
Ah, the Pearl Source, you say. Well, Mr. Shapiro, let's go see what shows up for it on my trusty website, buywokefree.com. Ooh, swing and a miss. Sorry, Ben. Looks like these pearls make a great gift for your trans femme pals. Oh yeah, by the way, this ad is like an eighth of the full video's runtime, so that's funny.
Why is it Thanksgiving? A common story told in many American schools for hundreds of years now is that the Pilgrims came to America, a randomly unnamed tribe of Indians sat down, cooked them a big dinner, handed over the rights to America, and lived happily ever after.
Thanksgiving is actually about the comedy that existed between Native Americans and the Pilgrims who arrived. The idea was the Pilgrims were basically starving, and the Native Americans helped them out, and the Pilgrims were grateful, and they all had dinner together.
No, that's not it either, actually. The natives were never invited to the first Thanksgiving. They just heard the sound of these loud-ass guys in the woods having their party, I don't know, wearing their undergarments in bed, whatever you do at parties back in the day. And they just kind of showed up and were like, man, this is fucking lame. Let's go bring our own food. They got, like, I don't know, a fish head that's, whatever. Here, have this big bird.
Here's a song about the true history behind this holiday we call Thanksgiving. In school we learned the origins of the first Thanksgiving feast, but what your teacher taught you ain't truthful in the least. It shouldn't come as a surprise. The Pilgrims' goal was to colonize and steal the land they landed on and claim it as a prize. They spread death, they spread disease to bring the native people to their knees. They murdered, robbed, and brutalized as often as they pleased. The Wampanoag still showed up to let
no, Ben, what are you doing? Oh, God. Oh, no, I don't like this at all. What is this?
Okay, and then we go on. No. Okay, so,
No, you stop. You can't just do that to a man. What the fuck was that?
a few things about this. A lot of what he's saying historically is not false. And the question is, meaning history, again, replete with bloodshed, murder, terror, evil, but giving thanks to God for the fact that the United States exists, which is essentially what Thanksgiving is. The real question is whether it is a good thing the United States of America was established. And if so, then you do have to give thanks for American history, even while acknowledging all of its flaws.
So then I guess my question is, Mr. Shapiro, if that is what you believe Thanksgiving to be about, why did you spend so much of this video seemingly trying to defend the Pilgrims and defend the Europeans that came here? Oh, also, you daft, divvy, wet behind the ears dumbass. When did anybody say they were against Thanksgiving? I mean, half of the people in this video were just trying to inform the admittedly sad amount of people that are uninformed about these subjects. Meanwhile, you go out of your way time and time again, either deliberately misinterpreting someone's words or missing their point, or outright delivering false information to people in an effort to scream into the overwhelming vacuum of the interweb that the woke mafia, which is a real term that someone has used in real life, and I have really heard it, and it made me really sad, want to take away your beloved Thanksgiving. Bitch, I don't care where you are on the political spectrum. Have you ever met a single person in your life who doesn't like food? Why would they take away a day that's entire existence is a huge excuse to buy a big bird and eat it? Half of them already want to eat anthropomorphic birds anyway. You know what, Ben Shapiro? I don't think you should have any authority to talk about Thanksgiving. All it ever seems like you do is sit there in your chair and whine. Whine to a bunch of mindless drones. I mean, what do you even have to be thankful for, huh, Mr. Shapiro? Thankful that the world has been generous enough not to scrub your name away into the pits of obscurity? Thankful that you can survive so long with a career solely built upon ridiculing a group of people who simply want liberty and justice for all to mean liberty and justice for all? You spent this whole time debating about history, when in reality Thanksgiving isn't about history. It shouldn't be about history. It's about you. It's about the present. It's about what's happening in the world around you, and it's about appreciating that. It's about appreciating the fact that a bunch of molecules happen to meet at precisely the right time, in precisely the right way, to form you. You don't know the first damn thing about being thankful, Ben Shapiro. And you, happy Thanksgiving.